All right, fifth grade, this is your lesson on rounding. Now, rounding was very difficult for you last section when we did it before, so I wanted to go over it again and make sure that you understand all the rules to rounding. So when you're rounding to the nearest place value. So here it says 33,871,648 to the nearest million. So the one thing that I want you to do is underline the millions place, okay? Once you underline the millions place, that is the number that we are changing or keeping the same. That is the one that we're worried about. The one next door is just the one that's telling us what to do, okay? So I'm going to look next door. This 8 right here is telling us that we need to add one more to the 3. We're not adding anything else except to that number. Now, a lot of you were adding to the 8. No, we're not adding to the neighbor. We're adding to the place value that we underlined, okay? And if you were to look on a number line, 33,871,648 is pretty close to 34 million. And that is why we rounded up. If you would like to use the number line, you are more than welcome to. But remember, you don't have to. You can always just look next door. And remember the rhyme. If it's 5 or more, you add one more. If it's 4 or less, you let it rest. You leave it alone. Okay? So let's do a couple of examples together. We have 163,000, sorry about that, 128, and we are rounding to the 10,000s place. So this is underlined, so I know I need to look next door. Is this number 5 or more? No, it is 4 or less. So I'm going to leave this 6 alone. We do the wavy. All numbers before the 6 stay the same. The 3 is telling us that the 6 needs to stay the same. And all the rest become zeros. Okay, let's do number 3. I have 1,675,213, and I am rounding that to the nearest million. So I'm going to look next door. Is this number 5 or more? Yes, it is, which means I'm adding one more to the 1, not the 6, but the underlined number. Okay, so 1 plus 1 is 2. And the rest become zeros. A lot of you are forgetting this step right here, that the rest becomes zeros. You change the 2, but then you leave all the rest of them the same. No, after the underlined digit, all of the rest become zeros. Every single one of them, okay? Now, this place right here, this section right here, asks you to round it to the greatest place value, the greatest place value. So you're gonna take the biggest place value of all of them and round to that one, okay? So I'm going to do number 11, 783,229, and I'm gonna round to the greatest place value. I'm gonna look next door. Is this 5 or more? Yes, so I'm going to add one more to the underlined number, making that 7 and 8. And then the rest become zeros. Okay? Now, when you're rounding decimals and money, it's the exact same thing as rounding to a whole number place, okay? Now, remember here that if I round to the nearest 10th, I change this 3 into a 4, I technically do not have to write the zeros, but I said that it was okay because it's technically not wrong. But just be sure that you either put zeros or nothing at all. I don't want to see that 75 there, okay? And if you're rounding money, when it says round to the nearest 10 cents, that's the tenths place. Rounding to the nearest dollar would be the ones place. Rounding to the nearest $10 would be the tens place, and $100 would be the hundredths place. If you are rounding to the nearest cent, that would be this place, but I don't have a thousands place, so it's not going to ask you to do that, okay? You might see that on your test, but you won't see it on your homework, and we'll talk about that more in class. So when you're rounding to the nearest whole number, tenth and hundredth, they're asking for 3 answers for each one of these. And for here, they're asking for 4 answers for each of these. So I'm going to do one of each so that you understand how to do this. So number 23 is 3 732 thousandths. First, they want the whole number. When I'm rounding to the whole number, it is the ones place, okay? And I'm going to look next door. Is it 5 or more? Yes. So I'm going to add 1 more to this 4, or 3, making it a 4. And technically, I'm done. But if you want to make the rest zeros, you may. Okay? And then the nearest tenth, I'm going to rewrite the number. Underline my tenths place. I'm going to look next door. Is this 5 or more? No, it is not. So the 7 is left alone. So my answer becomes 3.7. If you would like to put the zeros, you may. Okay? And then the hundredth place. I'm going to rewrite it again. Underline my hundredths place. And I'm going to look next door. Is it 5 or more? No, so I leave the 3 alone. All the numbers before it stay the same, and then the rest become zeros. Okay? And then let's do number 33. That is $792.46. We are rounding to the nearest 10 cents. Which is this place value right here. We're going to look next door. Is this 5 or more? Yes. So we're going to add 1 more to the 4, making it $792.50. Okay. The nearest dollar, which would be the ones place. I look next door. Is it 5 or more? No, so we let it rest. So it's going to be $792. If you would like to put 0.00, you may. And then $10. We have the tens place right here. We're going to look next door. Is that 5 or more? No, so we're going to let this rest. It's going to be 709, and then the rest becomes zeros, so $790. Okay? I really hope this helps you on your homework. Good luck.